Okay, so now we have all of our keyframes, and what we want to see, let me watch that ending again. So what we need to have a little bit more refining on is some of the easing in and out on some of these. So overall, I want to ease out of this first frame. So I can do, so this is a quick ease in, I need a quick ease out. So I'll go ahead and click that. Let's see if that changed much. A little bit. And I definitely want an ease in on this one. So this is a quick ease in. In fact, I want a lot of ease in on that one, so I'm going to do this. And maybe I'll do a lot of ease out on this one, actually, so we can do it pretty exaggerated. Let's see. There we go. So some other things that we might want. So like if I'm looking here at how this foot comes down, right, we go from here to here. Right, and that's over a few frames. And I wouldn't mind that being a little sharper, a little bit more slappy, I guess. I also wouldn't mind that being a little faster, like a few more, like right now it's taking 1, 2, 3 frames for that foot to come down. Right, 1, 2, 3. Maybe I'd like to have that happen in 2. And so I'm going to find my foot control. It's actually, I mean, it's on both of them, so you also see it happening in the one I have selected here, right? And so what I want to do is I'm going to go find that in here, and I'm going to, this is my right foot, is it, slide into the face, oh, there it is, right foot. So this right foot control, just this change that happens right, sorry, this is the right foot. I mean, let's do it on the right foot first. So we'll do it right here as we go from here to here. I will minimize the right foot controls, and what I'm going to do is just make that happen a little faster. And so now we get this slap of the foot, just a little, wait, put that on the wrong key, it's this one. So I feel that slapping a little faster now, right? Now I'll go find the second step, we can do it there too. There, just have that come down a little faster, and then there's one more of them here. There we go. And I'll do the same thing on the left foot, which is down here. I'll minimize that. We should be able to see all the left foot controls here on this channel. And so I'll go back to my pose here. It feels like the first one is right from here to here. So let's drag that one back one. And then we see one here as well, from here to there. And then we should see at least one more now from here to there. Is there another one out here at the end, I guess? I guess this one right here would be the faster slap too. And so we see that happening much too slow. But let's go ahead and just scoot those forward. There we go. Now what I may also want to do is like pick up the other foot right through here just a little bit. Right now I'm okay with it. If we just watch that change, it's not going to be a major change. But if we watch it, it should feel a little bit, those little foot slaps should feel a little heavier now. Now there's other things in here that we may decide we want to offset. One of the things I'm kind of noticing is I'm noticing the deformation keys on my character's body. So if I go find pair body right there, and the deformation is above that, you'll see all of these deformation keys. Now here's the interesting thing. We have 2 different sets of keys if I expand that out. We have offset right here, and if I adjust that, you'll see, what does offset actually represent? Kind of hard to tell exactly there, so I believe offset is the top one. So let's look in the function editor so we can just kind of see it. Offset now, sorry, go back to my timeline, choose that again, offset function. We should see these keys here. Actually, I'm not seeing a lot of change in any of them, so maybe that's not the the one I want to be looking at. Let's see what happens if I adjust one though. So that's going to be a little bit more of that. This is the, ooh, I need that. And then this is position X. Okay, so that seems to be like the placement of it. So if I go back to my timeline and I do curve, right here is my curve key. And so my function keys, there we go. We can see my curve keys a little bit better now. And so one of the things you'll notice on all of these is that they are all kind of set to these linear tangents. And if I turn on my orientation, you'll probably find even more of them that are set to linear tangents. So I'm going to go ahead and just check all of these on so we can see those. And I'm going to try to smooth some of these out just a little bit more. So I'll change these from corner to smooth. I'm going to change this. Sort of do an automatic smoothing on these. And then I can go through here one at a time and see areas where I can clean up these curves. And for the most part, it's not a lot of issues, right? But like here, I can see what this is actually changing. So this is the length of my first curve, and it doesn't, you can see just a little bit there where it's smudging. And so I believe what this is this control right here doing this. Yeah, you can see that changing there. So I don't know that I need that as much. What I do need is the position of this one, which I believe, I don't know, I think that maybe, we'll keep working on it to see which one that seems to affect. So I'm just going to try to smooth these out a little bit, just maybe give them a, it may not be perfect, I may not need to do too much to it, but just a little bit of attention to that. Hopefully will make that motion feel a little bit better. And again, my orientation of this maybe isn't the most important thing on this. I can look here at the end, but as we sweep through here, what happens if I added a little bit more to that? Not a lot. Right? So orientation, I don't need length, I need orientation. These I do want to smooth out anywhere where we're getting these, like as the curve is traveling down, if it flattens out here like this, then that's just going to feel like a hesitation in that motion and is not probably going to be what we really need. And if I were to adjust this, you'll see that that's the angle of that bottom curve. And so, I may be able to just make this more meaningful in the way it's shaped in general. Right? So instead of this being like that, maybe it's more like this. Now, this is a lot of very nitpicky work just to try to get a smoother transition for all of these. But you'll see pretty quickly where these are useful, or how I can make these a little bit better. And just by going through and doing this, it's going to be these really tiny changes that add up to a much smoother animation by the time we're done. So I'm going to continue to do this, but I'll do this offline where you don't have to watch me do every one of these. The other thing that I would want to look at is orientations of other nodes. So particularly where my character's body orientation is. So this body peg right here, if I go to the function editor there, remember my translates and my translates are all this path velocity stuff, and you can still, you can mess around with those if you'd like to. But I should also have an angle Z. And my angle Z is the rotation of the body when I was using this control to rotate it, right? And so I just want to select all of these, and I'm going to go ahead and set that to smooth. Go ahead and set that to reasonably strong S-curve here. And then just take a little bit of time to comb through this and iron out any weird hiccups. And you'll see stuff like this, that my character is, where is the character at? The character is starting with their body rotated back, right? And so that means this is the body rotating forward, and it kind of hits this forward point and then just kind of flattens out a little bit and then goes forward a little bit more. And so maybe I can just have some control over how that forward rotation progresses by doing something a little bit more like this. Now, that's not a definite like that makes everything better. but these little bitty changes add up, and like, you don't want to just change stuff to be changing it. You want to change it because you believe that by changing it, you're going to get some form of a better result. And so just changing some of my orientation of the body curves here will hopefully give me a little bit more of a smoother transition through this. I got a couple more to do here. So again, just hoping all these kind of add up to something, some improvement that we can notice. And this one here particularly, I'm interested in seeing how this one works out, because this is where my character's head dips forward, pops back, and goes to there, right? And I think that just doesn't look exactly right. I think this is probably a little too strong, and probably this one as well. And I would like that to sort of progress a little bit more. Sorry, let me get up here where I can grab that to where that is the peak of that, and then we sort of ease back into this. So let's see if that feels a little bit better now. So yeah, there we go, dip down into that, and then up to there. And at this point, I'm like, maybe it comes back up a little too fast. I can move that from side to side by holding down Alt while I click and move it, and that'll let me dip down more and then slower back up, right? And I can also still adjust this, and I could even hold down Alt and maybe have this happen a little later. So let's see what that looks like. There we go. Kind of like that. One more thing I would like to look at, and that is going to be my, sorry, I guess I have to have the peg selected. So if I go to my, there we go. This is my slider, right, my face slider, and click here, okay. And I can see this control right here, right, also has keyframes on it.